can hear me, right? If not, just move my mic. I think you can hear. Not the corona. Anyway. So, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by YouTube or Google or whatever the fuck it is, running my PC through the roof, I was basically saying it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning here, and that I saw an article earlier that they don't know if it's real or fake yet, but a lot of people say it's conspiracy. That supposedly Jeff Lowe set up Joe Exotic, and how this happened is he's an ex-partner of Carol Baskins. And now correct me if I'm wrong, and all this sounds crazy, but I've watched video after video after video after video, both sides. I can't help but think that lady's fucking crazy. And, you know, yay and nay, you may not like the person on the Tiger King series, you may not like Joe Exotic, but hey, I don't think he's that bad. I think he got coaxed into some shit that he didn't really know what the fuck was going on because he was too high. There you go. Bad shit happens to good people. And that's where I was going with that. Now, I'm not a felon. I do have my misdemeanors and all that, but at the same time, you just take one look at Jeff Lowe and you definitely can see he's a fucking con man. 100%. 100%. I know it may be late. I know some of you are in bed. Well, my sleeping schedule's all screwed up because right now there's no work because this coronavirus fiasco. You know, the social isolation is what I call it. I've been doing that for years. When did people just start following the trend? I'm only wearing a jacket. Oh, yeah. I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy. It hurts. My potatoes are coming in great for the people that wonder. This is, by the way, the living room. Want to get another PC so I can obviously do my fish tank stuff again. My laptop broke. It basically only runs one program and then it freezes, and I don't know what the hell went on with it, but I think somebody more or less probably hacked it. Anywho, the video earlier got cut short because I tried to open up Facebook, and Facebook uses a shit ton of resources. So if I try it again and it does that again, I'm just gonna give it up. Y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about tomorrow when I screen share what I'm talking about right now. See, I was actually blown away through the whole thing as they referred to Kelsey Safferty as he, when obviously she uses the pronoun he. Obviously, I'm not getting into that whole garbage scenario because y'all know how I feel on that crap, and I'm accepting of people that have their own way of life. Just don't force your way of life onto me, and I'm fine with you. And I'm the same way with anyone else. I mean, shit, I lived in San Francisco before all that shit became normalized. But yeah, I guess you could say I kind of been going obsessive over Tiger King a little bit, just a little bit. Because, as you guys know, I keep fish. Some of those fish just so happen to be exotic animals because they are saltwater. And, it's like people don't get it. If they start attacking the big cat world, they'll come after this world next. I mean, shit, Pete already hates people for fucking keeping fish tanks. I mean, I've been a vegetarian longer than they became a gigantic organization, which also got founded or credibly quoted as a terrorist organization in the United States in the year 2009. So, but yeah, people still support them, right? They have a higher kill rate than anyone else. Not to mention spay and neuter. And you don't even want to get me started on that. Spay and neuter the whole freaking world. You won't have very many animals left because you're controlling the population of animals that can have sex with each other. I don't think that's what God meant when He said you have what is it exactly? You have dominion over all the plants and animals and things of the sea. He didn't mean it literally. He meant we are their masters. We can rule over them if we choose to, or we can be friends with them too. God, this helps my back so much more than just laying back on a thing that doesn't even have a freaking brace for your back. Feels great. That chair is busted and disgusted. I mean, shit, I've been a vegetarian almost 15 years. But, whatever. And I don't support PETA. And what's up, Biggies? And basically, what I'm saying is if they can attack the big cat world, they can attack the fish keeping world. Think about it. They're all exotic animals. They all come from different parts of the world. They're all imported and exported out of countries. I make a very logical argument here. I mean, hell, they've already done it with a lot of pleco species you can't own, a lot of snail species you can't own. Yeah, you got to get up and go to the store at 7 a.m. or else you ain't gonna get no TP, no essentials, nothing, because everybody's all fucking hoarding it like a bunch of freaking squirrels hoarding a nut. I realize something. If we don't speak out about this, if we're not vocal about this, they can take our rights away, our animal keeping rights. I know I'm just some guy sitting in his freaking living room with a $120 microphone in front of him, but shit, it's like common sense isn't that hard to gather. They also have a primate act going on right now. Not just the Big Cat Act. They're trying to reenact the Big Cat Act. It actually did not get passed. So, and that's one thing negative that this whole Tiger King doco series brought to light is that, you know, as much as I respect, certain people, I respect Doc Antle, I respect Joe Exotic, but at the end of the day, do you really know what people were saying is true or not? Or is the media doing its job as always and just overly sensationalizing things and making a story where there wasn't one? Like I said, nobody really knows. Nobody ever sees Jeff Lowe go like this. Take this off. Ever. You never see him take it off. Ever. That's all I'm going to say. That to me screams sus. I used to live in a world of sus. I can tell sus behavior. You wouldn't scream certain things if you were innocent. Not to mention, they brought up the fact that, Carol knew what would be put on someone's shoes to get a tiger or a liger or a exotic cat, for that matter, to claw at the man's boots. Cod oil, cod liver oil, something we can get from our fish if you keep exotic cod, obviously. But yeah, there's the point I'm making. A lot of the dots don't add up yet. Keywords, yet. We're vaping on the same as always. Washington, dead presidents. I like the same juice. I noticed that I was digging through my drawer and I actually have 3 bottles of expired nicotine juice. Flavors that I just couldn't smoke anymore. They get tiring and they also burnt out coils like a hot cake. But like I said, I'm just some guy in his living room, has fish, has kept exotic fish, has kept all kinds of things, has kept animals that you would never think I kept. I've kept scorpions in the past. I've kept all kinds of things. Mom won't let me own snakes. That's one thing I have never kept is snakes. I've kept rats. I've kept mice. I've kept hamsters. I've kept guinea pigs. Trust me, I've kept it all. But the point I'm trying to make is if they start putting rules and regulations and all this shit, more so than they already have. You think you don't see very many tigers in the wild right now, or people don't see very many jaguars in the wild right now? You know, I want to also point this out. There's one jaguar that was spotted coming over the Mexican United States border just 3 days ago. Yes, they're migrating. Why are they migrating? Because their territory is being overly habitated in South America. That means they'll start migrating up here. People will start shooting them for their fur. And then the people that kept big cats like that in zoos won't be such bad people, because you got all these hunters out there shooting these freaking cats just for their claws and their fur. I'm just saying, those people that are breeding them in captivity as well won't be such bad people, because then you think about it, all the ones that are out in the wild that are getting shot at and poached still have a fighting chance, because you got those cats that were in sanctuaries or private zoos or whatever you want to call them. Real talk. If you didn't have all those, guarantee a lot of these animals that they try to reintroduce into the population over in other countries like Asia and China and Philippines and so on and so forth wouldn't even exist. Just like I was looking something up the other day. The Philippines only has a couple different types of cats, right? And most of them are the size of a house cat, and one of which is called a leopard wildcat or something like that. Anyways, they're only about that tall. They stand about as tall as my dog. And there's about only 36 of them. 36. You get the picture? 36 cats. That means they're close to extinction. They're the miniature leopard. They're not the full-grown size. See, different parts of the world, because of displacement, when different parts of what used to be known as one country got moved, cats got displaced and pushed all throughout the other parts of the world. How many do I think we should have? A lot more than 36 in the wild. I'm sorry to say, but a lot more than 36. That's sad numbers. That means they're dwindling fast. Something that blew my mind, there's over 5,000 tigers. 5,000 in the state of Texas alone. I didn't know that. Just figured, shits and giggles, look shit up. 5,000 in the state of Texas alone. And you have all these wildlife people saying there's only a total of 6,000 in the world, which is a lie, by the way. They're just trying to get you to be aware. And it works, because you put something out there as clickbait, and it's obvious millions of people are going to click on it no matter what it is. And it worked. But yeah, numbers don't lie. And those are captivity numbers, by the way. So in total, that'd be something roughly around the numbers of 14,000 tigers in captivity. Now, yeah, they should be out in the wild. Don't get me wrong. For every one that's out in the wild, there's probably 10 more in captivity. But the point I'm making is they're trying to say there's only 385 in the wild. 385. And that's quoting the TMZ documentation that was on either last night or night before. They're trying to say that there's less than there really is. Really sad. I was also looking it up just for shits and giggles. You can own them in the state I live in, which just so happens to be Idaho. You can own tigers in the state of Idaho, but you cannot own snow leopards. And I think the reason for that is because they used to be native to this state. Actually, they used to be native to Canada, and then they migrate. Obviously, we it comes back to migrating, just like when the continents separated apart. Cats got displaced, just like snakes do after storms, just like fish do after storms. Things get displaced, just like wolves got displaced, so on and so forth. And I could argue this all day long, but a lot of people don't know this. Majority of all cats, even house cats, are descendants of saber-toothed tigers, just like majority of all wolves or majority of all dogs are descendants of wolves. I wonder if that means that a majority of all fish are descendants of sharks. That'd be cool, but I doubt it. You know, there's only so many things that, make sense. But there are a lot of fish species that we do not even know of yet because we've never even discovered them. There's almost, I want to say 85% of the ocean that isn't discovered. So we've really only discovered 15%, maybe less, probably more like 3%. Because the human body can't go down past 3,000 feet or something like that. Anything that goes down past 3,000 feet, it starts crushing in on itself. Don't ask me why. Probably something to do with gravity, laws of physics. I never really was that great at physics. I mean, I'm all right, but eh. So the other week, I'm sitting in the car, right? I'm vaping and vaping. There's not a cloud in the sky. I'm sitting there wondering, how the hell does all this water keep getting on the windshield? And I put my hand up and go like this. And then I realize the water comes from every exhale that I take out of a vape. There's science for you. And I think it's something like 0.3 or 0.003% nicotine or emittance of secondhand smoke, which is very, 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 very minute. For all those people out there that's saying vaping's worse than smoking. Oh, is that so? Well, vaping got me to quit dipping, quit cigarettes. Go figure. I haven't gone back. I mean, yeah, sure, I've tried a cigar or two here or there, but haven't really gone back other than that. But the real picture I want everybody to see is what were those two people, James and Jeff Lowe? I don't remember James's last name, but his name's irrelevant because he's a snitch and a narc. But the other point I'm making is what were they running from? People need to look into that before they just start pointing all these fingers at people like Joe and Doc Antle and Dylan and all these other characters, Kelsey Safferty, so on and so forth. People need to really look at what they were trying to point out when he took over the zoo. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see something missing. And then you'll also notice that right after Joe goes to prison, that she stops fucking with the GW Zoo completely. Go figure, wonder why. Because he was a plant. That's why. If you don't know what a plant is, it basically means a government snitch. He was placed there by the government, basically. I know more than myself thinks that. I know half the world thinks that right now. And then the other half thinks that Joe's a crazy animal abuser. And they never obviously even saw him before Joe Exotic's little escapade, murder, mayhem, and whatever the hell. But, you know, the point I'm trying to make is I actually, because I followed politics so much 5 years ago, to the point that it was all I did, sleep, breathe, shit, and eat politics for so long, I knew who he was through politics. If that makes sense. And it does to me. That, and I also knew who he was because he was the first person to ever breed ligers successfully. And I believe like 4 or 5 different sets of cubs. Yeah. People say that causes genetic mutations and flaws and shit. You do realize that a tiger is 10 times stronger than a lion, right? That putting tiger genetics into a lion makes the lion stronger. And I'm not here to argue, you know, whether it's wrong or right, but, you know, those ligers look so much like a saber-toothed tiger that it's not even funny. How'd you know I was going to talk about ligers? I am a Leo after all. I mean, come on now. Those are one of my favorite freaking animals. I mean, it's just half and half genetics. People need to really stop freaking out about half and half genetics. You too, my bro. Stay safe out there. I know it's a crazy world right now. It's just like, let's use my dog for an example. Dogo Argentinos were so mixed breeded by the time they actually came out with their individual breed. Majority of these dogs, majority, not all, would be coming out either deaf, blind, or both. And the reason that is because they would shoot out pups at a rate that was just unheard of. It was worse than rabbits. And the dogs were coming out sick and malformed. But the reason that also is because when you obviously breed something that's albino for its certain characteristics, it's going to come out with a few genetic flaws. And they bred Cane Corsos, something else, couple mastiff breeds into like Catahoulas and a few others. And that's how Dogo Argentinos actually get their spots, is from the Catahoula breed. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, Catahoulas were bred with Dogo Argentinos, and it actually gave them their energy to be able to chase cats through the wilderness for hunting purposes. That's obviously not why I have a dogo. She's the most loving thing in the world, and she's the most overly protective thing in the world. There you go. She's also my best friend. Because my other one, other than my friend Kevin, who lives in Arizona, died. So, yeah. But not to get into doom and gloom. We're going to talk about that on another day. Because I actually been thinking about certain aspects of a way to, remember and memorialize that person. And I think when I talk to that person's sister, she's really going to like what I have to do and what I have to say on the whole thing and like what I'm going to do. Because I'm basically going to open up a nonprofit for people who have died or vice versa, taken their own lives or vice versa, been murdered. And yeah, I'm not too certain on what I'm going to call it yet. I've just kind of put that one in the air. I always wanted to open a nonprofit. I just never really knew how. And now I've been looking into it and doing the research and all that. And it's like really easy. $250, $253. And wham bam, you go down to the city, you sign a bunch of documents, you turn the documents in, and within 30 days they give you your nonprofit license. Awesome. That's pretty much how easy it is. Well, in the state of Idaho it is. That's how easy it is. But other states it's a little more difficult, but yeah, that's basically all you do. Just like same if you're applying for an exotic animals license in the state of Idaho, you have to do the same thing, but you have to wait 6 months to a year to get approved. And you can get denied very easily. But some to import and export in and out of the state, certain animals, you need to have an exotic imports exports license. So I'm going to go towards that. And that's another, obviously, like a couple $100. Like, I think when I looked it up, it was like 350, maybe 280 something. I can't remember exactly. I don't remember specifics. I'll remember that later. But really, it's just something I've always wanted to do. I mean, I've kept scorpions. Those were by far my number one favorite pet, and I was only I was only 9 years old when I had my first scorpion, and I kept them with horny toad lizards. And they didn't kill each other for the longest time. Actually, my horny toad, he was immune to their poison because he'd been around them so long. Caught him out of the wild too. Only ones he wasn't immune to were the babies. When I started having babies, it was all hell broke loose. I had to move him out of there and give him some antibiotics, all that shit. But yeah, I've kept all kinds of critters throughout the years. I've been like trying to keep myself away from buying rabbits right now because if I bought rabbits, sad to say, it's my dog's favorite freaking food. She'd chase the rabbit till it was dead, just like she did with chickens. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to have my own place, at least 10 acres at the minimum, and more yard for Ellie to be in her own little area. She's a little dementor like that. Likes to eat critters. She's eaten a couple squirrels. And, sometimes it's too late. Other times I can get the animal control people on the phone before it's too late, but most of the times it's in her blood. She's part terrier and part Dogo Argentina, so she's bred to hunt animals, mainly big animals, but can't take a dog out of the dog fight, right? Well, anywho, I figured I'd just shoot on here and shoot the shit for about a 45-minute time frame, and then I'd pop off here. And if I got any viewers, that's cool. If I didn't, who cares, right? Because it'll all get viewed tomorrow or the next day or the next day. I mean, that's the point of me keeping on doing what I'm doing and keeping on. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't want to do videos because I was just so stressed out with all the move, with the job that I was doing, everything else. And it changed my mind frame on a lot of things. And now I do research on things before I just talk or before I just speak. A lot of the times before, I just went from the gut, from the head, from past experience. And sometimes that can lead you to like I said before, that can lead you to complacency. Don't become complacent in keeping fish, because the moment you become complacent, you're taking those animals' lives in your hand. Just like the moment Kelsey Safferty became complacent, she got her arm bitten off by a freaking tiger. Okay? And it was just like any other day, 2013, any other day for her. Okay? And I'm making the same statement because some people we do know keep sharks. Some people we do know keep other fish that bite fingers off. Some people we do know keep puffers that bite fingers off. I mean, I'm making a valid point in this video. Just stay safe out there, people, and know your animal rights and know your rights in general. And don't let the man take advantage of you if you can. And don't forget that I always say this at the end of almost every single video, unless I'm pissed off, that with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move any mountain. Don't let molehills become mountains or obstacles in your way. And have a very, very blessed day. And don't forget that God's always with you. And He doesn't care what your preference is. He doesn't care what your ethnicity is. He doesn't care what your difference is. He is always with you. And with that being said, have a good morning. Have a good Tuesday. Don't get too silly with this coronavirus bullshit. Oh, and by the way, I don't wear a mask outside. I don't wear gloves outside. I do wash my hands excessively, like more than normal, more than an average person should. I've been showering at least 3 times a day. Probably not saving enough water for the fishes, but hey, at least I'm virus free, and I haven't been this healthy in a long minute. Hot country minute. I haven't been this healthy in a hot country minute. I haven't had this much food in my house in a hot country minute. Okay? And as certain people say, let her rip, tater chip. And if she ain't ripping, then why the hell are you sipping? No one knows. But don't drink the proverbial Kool-Aid that the media has been selling to you people for the last 7 years. Not everything you read, hear, and see on the media is true. Remember that. And with all that being said, I'm gone. And if you do get the chance, go in and do your own research. I mean, don't take my word for it. I mean, you don't have to take my word, but with a grain of salt. My word is just my opinion, my point of view. Not everything I have said in this video is fact. It could be just a conspiracy. But in the hopes that it isn't, do your own research. You know? That's all I can say. I can't tell you anymore. I can't draw a picture for you and point the arrows to the little magic bunny in the hat and pull the bunny out of the hat and prove to you that it obviously was a setup. And even in his own words, Jeff Lowe even said that he set him up. Just go look it up. It's on Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere. That guy's going down. If he hasn't already, he's still being investigated. I mean, now Doc Antle, I don't have anything bad to say about him. I don't think he ever euthanized any cats. You can see how angry he gets in the TMZ interview, and it's just like somebody that's that angry about something that was said obviously knows that was said out of context to hurt people, and it did just that. And you don't have to take my word for it. I am just a guy with some crazy looking hair and sitting in his freaking house and in the middle of downtown Idaho, and it's like I'm just some guy on a computer in his living room, sitting next to his kitchen, sitting above or below a whiteboard. I'm just some Joe Schmo, average Joe. So you don't have to take my word for it. Go out and do your own research. And I'm gone. I know I said 45 minutes, but I'm going to cut it.